until Thursday we thought we were in. Number 3 was Dan's housemate's business. Number 4 was Dan's house. So we've got a number 1, and I think the GCS success story keeps on going. Thank God for that. But I think, are we ready for game 2 already?
We certainly are. I'm going to roll the intro and we'll go straight in on this one.
Hello there, and welcome to the second game of the semi-finals. You're looking at a DevM in the south. A DevM playing as USF, possibly the most potent player-faction combination in Conan Heroes 2 history. He won OCF with this faction, and he's 1-0 up.
He is, that's right, and he's going to be playing against VonIvan, a freshly defeated VonIvan, who for some reason today is loving to launch in with his commander choices. He has preset plans, and this time he thinks it's going to be the Luftwaffe ground forces that are going to be trying to take DevM.
Okay, so he's gone for Luftwaffe, but to be honest, with regards to DevM's USF, other than the fact that he primarily goes armor company, it's mostly just his incredible infantry play, much like that first game. Incredible infantry play into great light armor play. It's just such a tantalizing combination from him, and it's all about whether you can actually meet him and battle him on a tactical front that'll possibly, you know, open up on a strategic front for VonIvan.
We've got VonIvan here who's going to be doing some capping with the Kubel. Interesting, you know, talking about DevM's USF play, because I mean, really, he's been amazing. Like, we've seen so many tournaments where we've seen him, you know, just dominate so well with USF. It's just one of those factions for him where he taught people really how to play that. You know, he taught everybody how to steamroll with that faction. It normally revolves around the lieutenant, you know, getting the M20, getting the veterancies up. You know, just the way that he progresses through USF is incredible, making up for the fact that, you know, at the times we saw him, it didn't have that late game armor, and he was still doing so well with it. So it's great to watch him play this faction. This is where I consider him to be his best. He's got his own little player portrait commander there in the bottom for winning the Warpaint Championship. You know, just it's like a mark to VonIvan. You know, I won that championship.
Good battles in the early game here. So we've had a cut-off neutralization by DevM, but the Folks Grenadiers come out to meet them. We had Stern Pioneers and Folks Grenadier combination in the west, push off a single rifleman. They then take the garrison. So good tactical exchanges in these first 2 minutes. It is an active battle. This is the semi-final. This is one of the biggest games of either of these two players' lives, and one of the, you know, it's extremely important. You can tell that they're very tense. They're very they're trying to be as methodical as they can, but knees weak, arms spaghetti, etc. It's a very tense battle so far.
And the early game here, of course, is everything. DevM is not going to want to let VonIvan stay secure on the map for too long, because, of course, DevM is all about that early game push, that early game brutality. And he wants to try and get those decaps off. He wants to try and stunt the resources for VonIvan. He wants to try and make sure that it's his armor out on the field first. Everything's fought on his terms. And it looks like Von is countering this very well at the moment. He needs to be careful, though, because DevM... You know, DevM actually watches the veterancy on his units. You know, he waits for that.
We just saw Kubelwagen pushing in the west there, Dan. So VonIvan giving DevM a taste of his own medicine. For many a year, he's been using light vehicles to push other units out of cover. VonIvan was just doing the same to DevM that he's done to many other people. So I think VonIvan's looking pretty good in this game. He's shaking off the cobwebs. He's holding his ground. And DevM's not bullied him at all in this game. It's been very close so far. I think VonIvan's now playing a lot better.
Well, we do have the classic scenario that may go wrong for VonIvan if he decides to split out too far on the map here. Like, we understand he has to play aggressive, he has to be all over this infantry, but if he splits up for a second, if he goes too deep on the right-hand side, I think DevM's going to unleash something pretty horrible through the center, go for that strategic decap, and then start to control the field a little more. We do have Lieutenant into M20 coming up, so it's certainly a possibility.
Had little pockets of activity everywhere on the map then, as mentioned by Dan. VonIvan did spread out. DevM went to meet him on every front. His riflemen got quite low health in the west. Folks Grenadiers coming to meet them in turn. He's got Folks Grenadiers and Stern Pioneers doing excellently in the east. The Lieutenant are coming out to meet them. So we've got such a a changing of battle lines here, ebb and flow, to and fro gameplay. And it's going all over the place, but we've got two things that are changing, Dan. The M20 utility car is going to hit the field, and that's going to cause some serious issues for VonIvan.
It is, but what's also going to cause issues is that the strategic decap did come in from DevM. Now he's able to harass with the M20, but Von's going to be decapped from the left. It looks like he's also running to a strategic decap on the right-hand side to make sure that Von has no fuel income whatsoever. So it's looking like a really nice map strategic game here.
It is. He is now able to neutralize this cutoff as well. The M20 doing some great work. It's already got 3 kills. It's only been on the field for a minute, and it's continually just harassing these Volks Grenadiers on retreat, harrying them as they scutter off the base. And the M20 is going to have to be dealt with by VonIvan, and he's getting the Raketenwerfer.
Interesting choice. I think one of the things that DevM is definitely doing correct here is that, you know, when your opponent in game 1 has had bad preservation, you want to split them up as much as possible, right? Because DevM is going to be able to handle all those engagements that are going across the map. And Von may not necessarily be able to do that at the same rate, so he's likely to get those squad wipes. We just saw a very cheeky M20 laid right outside of the base territory there of VonIvan, so that could be the end of a light vehicle that comes in throughout this game.
Good preservation from VonIvan in the west there, Dan. He noted that the M20 was coming in. He could have gotten the Panzerfaust off. In fact, I think an older VonIvan would have done that, but he's been working on his preservation in preparation for the semi-final, and it's starting to show. He's starting to retreat when he sees the situation is bad, and that is the hallmark of a great tournament-level player.
We've got a little bit of a bait here with the Kubelwagen. It's there just to make sure that the Raketen can get its first shot off, which it does. Von minesweeps the M20 mine in the center, so that M6 is not going to be able to get anything. Stern Pioneers are now finished minesweeping, going to push the Lieutenant off the left-hand side. And whilst DevM, a little preoccupied on other areas of the map, trying to get his map control back. Von's looking like he might have to start locking down his territory now.
I think VonIvan's done a good job there. He's managed to sweep the M20 mine and mitigate the M20 with a good shot off from the Raketenwerfer, which will keep DevM guessing from now on. But DevM's got a play of his own. If he's getting the MG, and we have started to see him do this in competitive games, a little bit of crowd control and just something to tide him over until he gets the Sherman.
I think it's a very nice addition to his build, and it's also really great that his build has been evolving. You know, over the years maybe that we've seen him, you know, play this. The build has evolved, and there's, you know, nice additions to it, new ways. You know, he's not just sticking with something he's always done. He's always reacting to the state of the game, and I think it's a great addition to allow his infantry to really go in and lock down territories.
And that's why I find, you know, the cash grab DevM stuff quite distasteful, because he's always been somebody that's added so much strategically to the community, quite frankly. He always writes guides where he can, but it's his builds you want to watch, and he's a pleasure to watch in tournaments because he adapts. He genuinely adapts his builds for every single tournament. It's always been USF as allies, but it's changed over the course of time. And what do we see on the battlefield at the moment, then?
I'm watching this this thing that DevM does, and I know that he does it intentionally because he's actually told me before. I'm surprised you noticed that. But what he does is he watches the veterancy on the units, and just as that veterancy is about to pop, he makes his progression towards one of the light vehicles on the field. And he's doing that to give the impression that he's not going to be able to rifle nade, but of course he will get that veterancy with a shot, and then he puts it off. So Von was actually reacting to this as well. I think Von was checking the veterancy of the rifleman there, realizing that was about to happen, moving the Kubel away, but still staying in the engagement. So I think there's loads going on in this battle at the moment. I think this is a huge mind game situation for both players, and they're just waiting for the first squad wipes to come in, you know?
Absolutely. Interesting engagement there. Two-man squads retreating. Got the M20 harassing this Volks Grenadier in the east here. Got engagements pretty much everywhere. It's been a very frenetic battle. Oh, big shoe mine goes off there, killing 2 riflemen.
I think actually it has looked very good for Von. I do think that, you know, he's got the resource lead. He had loads of control in the early game. He's now plus 36 to a plus 22 for DevM. So, you know, he has a chance to really, you know, put the tech up in this game. Looks like he's brought another tier structure out, so we could be seeing tier 4 go down to defend the left side. You know, and this would put pressure on DevM. He's an infantry only with the M20 at the moment. You know, so he's not going to be able to get the triple cap if that tier 4 goes down.
Yeah, I think DevM's added a stalling to his build with USF, and I think with getting the MG out, he does concede that he won't be quite the steamroller as USF as he used to be. It's a big grenade goes over and nearly, quite frankly, could have wiped that rifleman, especially with the Fallschirmjägers harassing the retreat there. But he does stall a little bit as USF nowadays, and it is with a view to getting the armor rolling or the Shermans rolling and just saving until he gets them, basically.
Is Armor Company the one that he... Yeah, sorry. Do you know, I never actually thought it was Armor Company that DevM had taken his commander portrait on, but we were talking ages ago.
Rifleman here
got... Sorry, Karen.
Doing good job on the retreat. It is negative cover all the way along that road, the Stern Pioneers there. And they're now going to be able to push the cutoff yet again. But VonIvan, who's playing a lot better this game, his micro's a lot better, quite frankly, because he's using infantry, not underpowered MGs. He's capping the eastern fuel point whilst this goes on. So, as I say, it's good turnabout and play.
This is a very important moment, I think, because DevM may have just seen the tier structure for OKW there whilst he was capping the strategic point in the north. So he may understand potentially what could happen to him here, which is that if that tier 4 goes down, the infantry are not going to be able to progress. They have no indirect fire available at the moment. You'd need to either pick a commander based on that or maybe go indirect, which might not be his intention at the moment. So I think actually the way that he pushes on the left-hand side now, he should be very, very aggressive on the left to make sure that that doesn't happen.
So the captain has hit the field. We'll see if he goes Stuart or not first. But it will be indicative of his overall strategy. Well, the first grenadier in very poor situation in the east, Dan. He should have retreated a long time ago. VonIvan, where is your preservation, Sunshine? That was a slow retreat, and he's going to get punished for it now.
Yeah, I think he made that. M20 is going to chase. Still very accurate on the move. And it's got to cross a little bit of negative cover here, and that's going to be where it dies. Oh. And it's a nice play from DevM, really. Nice little flank there.
Nice play. I just think VonIvan didn't retreat in time, didn't he?
Of course, yeah,
preservation?
But you know, it's when you. I think you like to identify it and move over there. I think I think
True.
It's good.
It's one of the things you always have to respect in coming here. It's getting ready for a bad retreat of your opponent and getting something in position to polish it off on retreat. Just like that M20 was there, as it eats a rocket and a shot in the centre and has to reverse along the bonus of the road to get out of there. But it is, as you say, Dan, all about polishing off units on retreat, and DevM showed why he is an exterminator there.
Yeah, I do think, actually, especially on a map like this, Allies and Axis get into this game where one's trying to defend this left mid, and the Allies, you know, they maybe just take the role of just trying to clear that and trying to cause as much chaos as possible. Which means DevM's probably going to be the one that actually gets those retreat kills, and Von's got to be a little more careful there. But you know, this is turning into a beautiful game already. We haven't had that many VPs lost, only 100 off of DevM so far. And it looks like Von, let's have a look, the tier structure is on the left side, but... he's not turning it into a structure yet.
There we go, the Stuart is on the battlefield, the M5A1. This vehicle is almost like a main battle tank in miniature. It can pretty much deal with anything you've got, and it can keep on going as long as it doesn't eat a Panzerfaust, and it can really cause issues for the OKW.
Oh, that was a lovely grenade from the Fallschirmjäger there. As soon as the MG got into the building, Von taking advantage of the low health, delivering one of the bundle grenades, completely wipes that unit.
There you go, good wipe for VonIvan. Done very well there, and he's got a measure of revenge. However, he's got a Stern Pioneer on little health. The M20 is going to polish it off again.
He does not want to be losing the units like that. It's such a shame as well, because you know, he was on the retreat. That was just a good pickup from DevM, good response.
As I say, he's polishing units off here. This first grenadier needs to retreat immediately. It knows surely it needs to retreat. He's gotten the Panzerfaust off. Oh, the Schwer's just set up. That's maybe what he was waiting for. And now he's possibly going to be able to protect himself. Smoke pops popped from the M20 utility car. The Volksgrenadiers are going to be able to stay in there for now.
That was such a lovely response there. What a save from the M20 to go in, pop the smoke, whilst that engine damage Stuart was taking penetrating shots from the Schwer headquarters. So a lovely little play to secure and save that unit. And little plays like that, you know, they're going to start deciding this game.
VonIvan is an expert level player. He is capable of moments of pure genius like that. He lingered with his Volksgrenadier. He got the Schwer to become battle ready, and it was pretty good from him, to be honest. I misjudged that myself. I think DevM did, but he did deal with it himself, and he was able to get the hell out of there.
I think, oh my gosh, I think if I'm right about what DevM's just done, he's just popped the smoke. He's showing VonIvan that the M20's there, perhaps to give the illusion that he's laid a mine, which means Von has to go for the Stern Pioneers. You could be forcing Von to go into a manpower choice here, even though there's nothing there. It would be for no benefit. That is exactly what DevM would do as well.
Genius.
That is absolute genius.
And that's what we get when you get to the semi-final stages of a massive tournament like this. All of these players playing for you today have been practicing and are at the top of their game. They're going to be doing next-level strategies. First Grenadier, difficult retreat path. Kubelwagen comes to try and help out, but the First Grenadier is going to get polished off regardless. The M20, is there a Kettenwerfer careers into it? Oh my god, did that First Grenadier survive that?
Gosh, I think I'm glad it did survive, because it would have been a difficult situation for Von if another squad had gone down. The only thing in the build at the moment is the ISG, which is going to come on. Not sure what that's going to be helping with particularly.
Well, I thought it should have been a second Kettenwerfer, and he definitely needs another one now because he's just lost the first one.
I mean, this is a very, very brutal push from DevM. Because to get through this, you know, like, there's things that Von needs that he just doesn't have access to anymore. Just, I'm going to lose out to a grenade there.
Those grenades could have been so much worse then for VonIvan. He's lucky that he escaped with those two squads because DevM has tightened the noose. He's completely ignoring the Schwerpanzer headquarters. It's just like a fixture, much like the Maginot Line. He's just gone around it. And I can't see VonIvan... well, I can see VonIvan getting back into this. VonIvan's one of those players that's tricky. You think you've beaten him, and then he'll keep coming back. So it's not one of those situations quite yet, although it is looking pretty bad for the American.
We've got DevM utilising his time right now to plant some more M20 mines on the field. We did have an access to M10s to come on, but DevM did not decide to go through that. Instead, he's going to reinforce everything he's got, potentially for another big push up through the centre. But I mean, I thought he maybe would have prioritised getting that tier 4 down so that he can install a triple cap, because that is one of the things that he does have access to do at the moment if the tier 4 structure wasn't there. Where is Von going with these Fallschirmjäger? Oh,
it's
Von.
a big... oh god, Von. These are the elite Luftwaffe commandos of the Wehrmacht army, and they're just being literally left to die out there. The M1 carbines, the Stuart, finished them off. And that was pretty horrific. More like...
Perhaps a little bit flustered at everything that's going on. But again, look at this. Another overextension. Volksgrenadier going down the right side. I guess maybe he's trying to stop the fuel from DevM. And this is desperation. This is absolute desperation. The fact that this squad has been found on the right-hand side. You know, yeah, it can't be there. He has to put everything he's got right now into reconnecting the left. There's resources there protected by a tier 4 structure. It's already got the VP giving him enough time to get back into the game. He just has to really, really come up with something that's going to counter this. It should be a raket.
It's death by 1,000 cuts. It's not papers as a stone. And unfortunately for VonIvan, he's been ballsy with his teching decisions. He's been pretty well thought out, to be honest, in terms of overall metas and strategies, but DevM has just had superior micro across the board. And now, look at this. This big 105mm bulldozer Sherman howitzer is coming onto the field to crush VonIvan's hopes and dreams and to stamp all over the great North American hope in this tournament and possibly push DevM into a commanding and dominating 2-0 victory.
He was trying to clear up those Volksgrenadiers with the bulldozer there. It's a huge first shot though, wiping a lot of models from that Volksgrenadier squad, nearly wiping the 2-man squad on retreat there. That's another huge shot, and he's just going to clear these Volksgrenadiers as they come back on. The manpower reinforcement costs are going to be huge for Von. He cannot afford to carry on with this.
There you go, destroyed that unit on retreat there. They do have a Jagdpanzer Fear coming out, but it is just VonIvan doing what VonIvan does best, and that is stay in tournaments despite losing. He did it a lot in ESL NA. He did win a lot of matches, and he is a fantastic player, but he did stay in games he was clearly beaten in. You don't know, this Jagdpanzer could be crewed by the elite tank crew of the German army. It could be Michael Wittmann, a cyborg version of the same person. I can't think of any other German war heroes, to be honest. The Red Baron from World War I. I'm not much of a variable. Do you know any?
Yeah, not really. My suggestion was Mecha Hitler.
Mecha Hitler! Yeah, from the original Castle Wolfenstein, yeah, with the Gatling gun arms.
Von is still confident, I think, that he's going to be able to get anything back in this. The ISG gets a nice little shot there. So, really, unless he starts wiping squads, I don't see much way that he's going to be able to continue holding off against this huge wave of infantry that's coming in from DevM. The fact that he's got bars on all of his infantry now, some of these Volksgrenadiers do not have the STG upgrade, so they're just going to get shredded as this comes in. Tries to lay off the incendiary grenade just to stop the lieutenant from capping, but really, what good is this going to do?
Indeed. Got the VonIvan go with the MG34. It feels like one of those decisions, you know. It's almost as though you're beaten, you're bloodied, you've lost the first wall of your castle, they stormed the fort, and your butler comes up to you and asks you what you want for your main course for dinner that night. It's just, you know, it's completely and utterly, you know, it's not really fundamental to VonIvan's strategy at the moment. His strategy is to just stay in the game for as long as he possibly can and rebuild his forces, I guess. But it does seem like DevM is in such a position now of dominance that it's going to be a miracle for VonIvan to come back on this one.
Do you know what I think possibly one of the biggest mistakes here could have been was actually the positioning of the tier 4, because he has nothing to defend that cutoff. You know, he put the tier 4 all the way on the left to defend the resources, but didn't pay attention to the actual strategic cutoff, and DevM's just taken huge advantage of that.
He really has. I mean, and also DevM was using smoke there because, of course, he's upgraded to grenades, etc., to neutralize the victory point. And although he wasn't able to capture the victory point, it just goes to show that it isn't the old commanding structure you sometimes expect it to be. And as ever with anything in this game, it needs to be supported.
Yeah, it does need to be supported. This is all about combined arms. This is all about, you know, little decisions like that, little decisions about where to place things are game-changing, as we're seeing. And that's Jagdpanzer 4 there, which was in a bit of a bad position itself, just takes the 18 aid. Is this a call for any of the light vehicles from DevM to go in? I see there's a little bit of activity from the Bulldozer Sherman and the Stuart. And of course we do have M10 just arriving on the field as well. So this is a ever the more bad situation for VonIvan.
Whoa, that howitzer charge could have easily destroyed that heavily clumped Volksgrenadier here. Will the second one do it? No, it hits the wall. Got a feeling. An M10, as Dan says, has hit the field. The Wolverine tank destroyer is here. Could be flanking that Jagdpanzer if it's not careful.
Yeah, I wonder if he's going to go in. Like, he's got the loadout that he wants now, and I think he's seen that the Jagdpanzer 4 is currently in a state where it is engine damage. This should be easy for the M10 to be able to get round the back, and he is. He's bringing the Stuart in as well. Maybe he'll block the sight block, but he does take it down with the M10. Although the Sherman's going to clear that MG in the center, VonIvan does drop the game. Amazing game from DevM though.
That was an absolute masterclass. And although this series is not as currently as competitive as the chat may have liked, it is looking like DevM is just been utterly dominating, quite frankly. We do now see VonIvan go over to Soviets in Game 3. And as we know, he is a Soviet-heavy player, so you can be expecting possibly a turnaround in play.
We'll get that game loaded up in just a second, but wow. Do you know what? There was another game where it looked really, really strong for Von. The one thing you definitely cannot take away from Von is his RTS knowledge, his strategic skill. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was so good. Really, the only thing that DevM is the master of preservation. You know, like, you just don't really ever see DevM lose stuff, and if you do, it's kind of a very good, very good play. But I mean,
he's so damn aggressive. Yeah, his preservation's on point. I think it's just his overall tactical play and the high level of it. It isn't necessarily actions per minute with DevM. He just doesn't. All the tiny micro decisions he makes are all accurate and on point. He has great micro as well. He's so well-rounded in all regards. But the one thing that sets him aside, in my opinion, is his very quick decision making. And Common Heroes is all about those quick decisions because it's life or death for a squad at times, and in that situation it was life for his squads and death